Hello, beautiful people! So today we are going to be doing another neocities tutorial on this layout, which was originally a card layout I made forever ago, and I decided to turn it into a neocities tutorial. So it's kind of like old MySpace browser inspired, and then I've been really obsessed with this band Edge Hill, so the template I made is just like a few of their songs and then the lyrics to the song, but you can use it for whatever personal reason you want to use it for. I'm just going to show you how to implement the layout into a neocities site. But yeah, we're just going to go ahead and get started with that. So again, if you're completely new to neocities, have no idea what you're doing, I'll leave a link in the description to a video I made going over the very bare bones basics of it, and just like how to create your account, how to create a file, like that type of stuff. But once you've created a new HTML file, it should look something like this. And the first thing I'm gonna have you do is delete this line of code, because this messes with how the website will look on mobile devices, and so it will look relatively the same on phone. Obviously it's meant to be viewed on a laptop, but all the behaviors of the code and stuff will behave the same on your phone. And then next, since I didn't do this in the last video, I'm going to do it in this one. I am going to quickly go over some just like really basic codes and stuff, since this is kind of a simpler layout. The video won't be too long, so I also talk about a lot of these in the video. I'll link in the description if you are interested in getting a more in-depth thing. But the first thing you want to do is where it says my page. As you can see, like in the browser up here, it says my page. You can change that to say whatever you want. So I'm going to change it to say I love Edge Hill. Guys, please check out Edge Hill, the band. I saw them perform live a few weeks ago, and ever since then I've been like absolutely hooked. And then another thing you can do is change the icon. So you're going to do that with this line of code here. You're going to copy and paste that. Again, this is all optional. It doesn't really necessarily like add functionality to your site. It's kind of just a stylized thing. So I'm going to change it with this link, which is, I don't know if you can tell, but it's them in the as the icon. And I have a little error because neocities doesn't like when you upload a picture. This is a picture I uploaded to Dropbox. It doesn't like when you do that, but it's fine. It works as it should. It's just a preference thing, I guess. But yeah, once you do that, and then we can save it, and you can see we have it up there. And then next is the disable copy and paste code. Again, these are optional, so you can skip ahead if you would like. But we are going to put this, I always forget where JavaScript goes, but I believe, no, not there. Don't put it there. Put it before the end head. So right here. And I'm going to change the text to stream 17 hours, which is their new song. Everyone go listen to it. Big Edge Hill fan over here. So this basically makes it so that it is harder for someone if you try to, okay, there we go. I guess it didn't work. If you try to like view someone's source, if someone tries to view your source code, it will make it a lot harder for them, so they can't simply like view page source and then completely like copy your code and like make a direct copy of your website. It's obviously not impossible for someone to get my source code. This just adds like an extra step. So yeah, and then this, which you will see what this does. This just changes the highlight color. So like, as you can see, it's black with the white text, when originally it would just be like that light blue color that you're used to seeing. So again, like, does this really like do anything? No, but I just think it's fun. So we're gonna create some style divs right here. So really quickly, this is in between these is where you're gonna put all your CSS. And again, CSS is different from HTML, and that CSS is the, like, for example, CSS would be the color or the font of a text, and then the HTML would be like what that text says, I guess. So here we have the selection. We're gonna make it black and then the text white, but you can obviously do whatever you want with that. And then we're gonna jump to the CSS pasty bin, and we're gonna copy and paste this. What this does is it just makes it, since we have a lot of elements that are like positioned on the site, it just makes it so that you can't like, you obviously can't see me, but I'm scrolling on my like trackpad. You can't keep scrolling infinitely. Like the site is only like what you see here. Like there's no like extra space on the side. Again, it's just a preference thing. If you don't include that, it is not the end of the world. And then we're just gonna go ahead and copy this. What this is when we have, since we're importing XP CSS like this style, the links will automatically be this blue color, but I don't love that. So what that does is it just keeps the links from automatically changing to that blue color unless we want it to be that blue color. Again, optional, it's a preference thing for me. And then we don't need a scroll bar because we've automatically imported the scroll bar from the XP CSS when we import that, which we would do later on. And I believe that's actually everything from this. So now that we have the very bare bones, we can get started with the rest of the CSS. So we will quickly import the font that we will be using. We are only using one font. It's this, I love this font so much, MS Sans Serif. But obviously, if you prefer another font, please choose whatever font you like. You have free will. And then we're gonna call this one container. And this is just it's like an invisible container. It's just the positioning to make like this big window here go in the middle of your site and like not up on the top left. I did really want to emphasize it's important that you name it container and that you use the same names I'm naming, because once we get to the HTML, if you don't name it container, your code isn't going to know like what container is. So if you did want to call it something other than container, that's fine. You just have to make sure that you change the name here as well. So I would just recommend, for like easiest sake, to use the names I'm using. And then additionally, I get a lot of comments that are like, oh, like I saved the site, but I can't see the container or whatever. And you have to implement all of the HTML code, not just some of it, before you can see this, before the site will look like what it's supposed to look like. Because as you can see, we have the start div of the container here, but the end div isn't until the very end. So unless you add that end div early on, you're not gonna see it being implemented. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly get that point across. And now we will continue. Main is just gonna be this container right here, this like big tan container where we're gonna put everything. I've tried to make the names of the divs a little bit straightforward because I feel like sometimes I name them like random things and it can get confusing. Top is just this little, I guess, container right here where it says display picture, like the top part of the menu. And then bottom is the menu itself. You can adjust like the positioning numbers and size numbers, things like that, but I left the code like I just copied and pasted the code I'm using directly, like with all the colors and stuff already implemented, because I figured everyone would, like want this to be blue or want the same font I'm using. But if you do want to change that, like, please feel free. And then this is some positioning for the images on the side of the menu, and it makes it so that the text will go directly next to the images, and then again the text directly next to it, named text for clarity. And then highlight, which is not a div class, so we are not going to put a dot in front of it. This is just behavior specifically so that, because I ran into a problem originally where if I hovered over like shooting glances, for example, it would highlight everything, like it would be one big blue block, and I wanted it to be like individually. So this is just like basically literally the same code as the text, but it just makes it so that it can be highlighted individually. And then this is the hover behavior. So I just copy and paste that directly. This is what makes it blue when you hover over it. You are welcome to change like the color, like if you don't want it blue, you would change the color blue, like, and it makes the text white instead of black, so you can change that as well. And then the line height is just like how like thick it is. So if your image is smaller, you might want to make the line height shorter and whatnot. And then the width, it extends all the way to the scroll bar, but like on mobile, for example, you can't see the scroll bar, so it is It does look a little bit shorter on mobile, but I don't really have a problem with that because I'm not really looking at sites on mobile. And then this is just positioning for the buttons over here and the text that says preview, just so that it's to the right of the menu. So I just called it next. I'm not super creative with my div class naming. And then lyrics. So this is I called it lyrics because I'm putting the lyrics in the container, but obviously you don't have to do like the same like kind of band idea that I did. And we will just actually go ahead before I forget and copy and paste the animation. So the animation, as you can see, like when you click on a new section, it kind of fades. So I got that from Animista, which is an amazing resource. And you are welcome. Please, if you prefer another animation, please do it. Like they have some really fun ones, like the bouncy one, like that's so fun. But I just chose this really basic one. And so I'll leave a link in the description to this website. You are literally just going to go to where it says keyframes, copy keyframes, and copy and paste the entire thing like that. And yeah, the animation should now be working. And then this is for the scroll box behavior. So you are literally just going to, it's a lot. It's a lot. So you're just going to copy and paste it directly. I didn't edit it or anything. So you just need to copy and paste it, and your scroll box should behave correctly. And then this is the positioning for the text underneath the image, like download more pictures. So yeah. And then this is again optional. I wanted it to be white when you hover over it, so you can just copy and paste, link, hover, color, white, very simple, straightforward. And then the 3 buttons on the bottom right here, this is the positioning for them. So I just named it buttons, and boom, we are officially done with all the CSS. Pretty awesome, pretty exciting. Yeah, so I'm going to quickly add in my cursor. I'll leave a link in the description to this site. So many cursor options, amazing resource, highly recommend. What you're gonna do is copy the HTML code. I found this, I'll leave a link to this exact cursor, but I literally found this one by just searching Windows because I wanted like a Windows-esque theme. But there are so many options, and you're just gonna copy and paste it, and then you're gonna delete everything after a href. And yeah, there you are. And now we can move on to the HTML, which is very exciting. We're making great time. I feel like these videos are often pretty long. So yeah, we're gonna copy this first block here, and I'll explain like what each block does, like step by step. So this is, and you're gonna have some, again, you're gonna have errors until you paste all the HTML. Please do not worry about that. So here we have imported the XP CSS style. And then, and I'll leave a link in the description to this website in case you guys want to look into it, and if you want to add like more to the site, since this layout is a bit like bare bones, I think. And then it's the title bar at the top there, and you can have whatever text you want. It'll be the text that's like right here. I'm again just going to put I love Edgehill because they are my current musical hyperfixation. And then this is again optional, but I think it's cool. If you click on this button, it'll link to a website, and I have it linked to the main page of my neocities, but you can have it linked to, obviously probably not my website, so whatever you want. And then target blank just makes it so when you click on it, it opens in a new window and doesn't reload the page you're currently on. And then the next block, boom. So this is going to be the text. This is going to implement the actual like tan window right here, and the text that says, select a picture to represent you that others will see in instant message conversations. And then it implements the little top thing here, display picture, as well as the menu, and then the images, which I'll quickly go over that. So I have the images 75px of the width. You can obviously adjust that if you want them bigger or smaller. And how I implement my images is I you do not need like a paid card plan for this. I literally have just used like a free card plan, and I have a site with like all images I've ever used in my neocities, and I upload images to the card, and then I have them, and I will copy the image address and paste it into image link here. You can copy the image address directly from like an image that you've Googled, but I wouldn't recommend that, because if that person were to delete the image off of the internet, it would no longer show up. Like if you copy an image address directly from Pinterest, for example, no harm in that, but if they were to delete that image from Pinterest, it would no longer show up. So I like to download the images myself and then upload them somewhere where like I know I won't delete this card anytime soon. So I've distracted myself by talking. I'm not sure if I've copied all of the images correctly, but for now we're gonna assume. And then this is the menu again. So if I have like the template I'm providing has 5 images and then 5 sections. If you want less, just delete like 2 pages. If you want more, just like copy and paste this and then paste it, and obviously add like change the page number here, and then the text goes here is whatever you want it called. So I'm just going to quickly change that to the name of their songs that I'm putting in. Might be easier just to copy and paste the whole thing for the sake of time. And then this here are the buttons and the preview text, as well as the download pictures text. So that's everything like these 2 buttons, the preview, and then where it says download more pictures. So we'll paste that. Browse, remove, you can obviously change what you want the button to say. If you don't want it to say preview, you want it to say something else, change that. And then I have it so when you click download more pictures, it takes you to the band website, because if it's not clear enough, I love this band. And so you can either delete the whole like Ahrefs if you don't want it to lead anywhere, or obviously change the link to where you want it to take. You could be like, follow me on Instagram, and put your Instagram there, just an idea. And then again, target blank makes it so as you see, instead of like reloading the site, it opens in a new tab. And then now we are getting into the actual like content itself. So it's this like big chunk here, starting with div ID content and then ending with the /script. So if you look at it for too long, it can kind of be an eye strain. So I just want to explain what's going on here. So page 1, this is the entire code for this. Oh, that's not page 1. This is page 1. And so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to change the image link. Obviously, like in my case, it's just the same image that I have on the menu, but if you want it to be something different, feel free. And then you will put all the text that you want in the scroll box in between the 2 fake caption divs. And then like in my case, I just put their lyrics, but I wanted it to be like not just like one big paragraph. So I use like BR for line break. And I will actually include this resource because this is really good for like, well, like it's called HTML basics. So like if you want bolded text, this is how you would do it. Italic text, this is how you would do it. So yeah, just if you want, you know, a little extra oomph, I guess, in your text. So hopefully that's clear. I'm just gonna go ahead and copy and paste directly from the site I made for reference just to save time. But yeah, like I said, you're gonna change the image link here for each page, and then all the text you want in between the fake captions, use BR for line breaks, and then again, refer to this as needed. And again, if you need more pages, feel free to add more. If you need less pages, feel free to delete them. It is really important though that if you are adding new pages, that there is a comma after every page, or your like compiler will not be able to distinguish between like where one page starts and another page. And I had a really big problem when I was making this because the pages wouldn't show up, and I was like, what the heck am I doing wrong? And I literally just was missing the comma. So it's just little syntax things like that you need to be wary of. And then finally, the buttons. So these are the 3 buttons at the bottom. Again, when you click on them, literally nothing happens, but you're welcome to add a link or not include the buttons at all or add more buttons. But yeah, you're literally just gonna copy and paste it, change nothing. And now that we have all our end divs, there are no more errors. And when we save it and reload the page, it will show up as it is supposed to. And a quick note about the buttons. As you can see, I have made the margins so that they're spaced out evenly. You are welcome to adjust that number if you want to add more buttons or less buttons. Again, it's your website. You can do whatever you want with it. But yeah, I have a lot going on with school right now, so this tutorial was probably a little bit more fast-paced than maybe it needed to be, but please feel free to slow it down. Please ask me questions. My Twitter is linked below. Like, DM me. Like, I'm super happy to help you guys out, and I try to respond in as much of a timely manner as I can. I really appreciate the recent support, like all your nice comments. I love reading them so much. Like, you all make my day, and I'm really happy that, like, even if you're still really confused or my tutorials aren't helpful, like, even if I can make you understand like one tiny aspect of HTML or CSS, then like it makes everything I'm doing worth it. But yeah, like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. Please, 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 no question is a stupid question. Let me know if you need help, if I can do anything in these tutorials to make them easier. All I ask is that if you're giving constructive criticism, to just be kind. And yeah, I have my like kind of like anonymous question asking site also linked below if you have any recommendations for like future tutorials or things specifically you need help with and want to see. I'm super open to that. But yeah, this is just a little quick tutorial I wanted to put out to celebrate 2,000 subscribers. I'm super excited. I'm gonna revamp my YouTube, change my profile picture to mark the milestone. I am super excited, and hopefully I will be getting more tutorials up soon. Exciting things coming. I'm rambling, but yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.